Good morning, everyone. I'll be doing a Maxime Bernier Twitter roundup probably this afternoon or evening. I'm trying to catch up on everything. I've got local videos to do. I've got a report to write for, or an article to write for a local publication, and I've got so much to do. It's incredible, but I'm trying to keep up. So here we go. Maxime Bernier is tweeting, quote, "The left's censorship strategy is becoming more obvious all the time. Every week brings a new attack on our freedom of speech and freedom of the press. Where will it end?" And he's linking to a post-Millennial piece, and it says, quote, "Trudeau government to release approved list of newspapers and websites." The Trudeau government is set to release what they call an, quote, "a list of newspapers and websites deemed reliable under a multi-million-dollar subsidy program," unquote. This list will be determined by federal agencies, according to Blacklock's reporter. Senator Raynal, sorry if I've got that wrong. Oh, Raynal Anderchuk, sorry if I've got that wrong, of Saskatchewan pointed out that the selection committees appointed by the government means we're intruding on the freedom of the press. This is a concerning development. If the federal government begins to declare which newspapers and websites are considered, quote, "reliable," then how could any normal Canadian trust such a list? From Katie Telford, chief staff to the Prime Minister, telling Jody Wilson-Raybould that she could score Jody Wilson-Raybould positive op-eds and positive coverage in newspapers if she complied with the PMO's wishes on SNC Lavalin, to Ralph Goodall and the Public Safety Minister wishing to monitor and censor your social media. It's clear that the Trudeau government cannot be trusted with our media. And this is a post-Millennial piece. He's got him asking a question of the House as well, saying, "Hey, am I going to be included in that bailout?" And I mean, good question. I haven't asked for any money in the bailout, but I'm hoping that this Trudeau government is going to be absolutely decimated. Not one seat. Not one. We could do it, maybe, right? You think? Not one? Close. I think they're probably on track for about what Kathleen Wynne got. But that's just my gut feeling. That has nothing to do with polling or anything like that. Here's the National Post, and this one is concerning. It's as concerning as Justin Trudeau silencing the press and putting his fingers on the scale of justice with SNC and Jody Wilson-Raybould, as well as Mark Norman. I mean, all of these things are concerning. And Andrew Scheer didn't quite make the video today with, he was calling out the government in the Mark Norman case, saying, like, this is clear political interference. Where's the public inquiry? And so this one, that it beat all of those stories, should say something. This one's really concerning. Accountability matters. National Post is reporting, quote, "Not acceptable. Audits of federal government's performance canceled due to insufficient funding," AG tells committee. The Office of the Auditor General, AG, stretched thin by additional oversight of such new Liberal government entities as the Trans Mountain Pipeline expansion and the Canada Infrastructure Bank, has had to drop some of its other audits. Quote, "Although the 2018 federal budget provided us with some new ongoing funding, we did not get any of the new funding that we requested in the 2019 federal budget." Interim Auditor General Sylvan Richard, sorry if I got that wrong, told a House of Commons committee, quote, "We are continuing to explore our options to ensure that we are properly funded and accountable only to Parliament. In the near term, we have no choice but to decrease the number of performance audits that we can conduct." Outgoing Auditor General Michael Ferguson had requested $10.8 million in additional funding last year so his office could accommodate an expanding mandate. But with no new money on offer in 2019, the office had to drop 5 audits of the government's performance, including on cybercrime and Arctic sovereignty. At the risk of putting words in Mr. Ferguson's mouth, I can tell you that had we received the $10.8 million that he requested last summer, our office would have considered ourselves to be properly funded. We would have been able to do the work that was expected, said Andrew Hayes, the Deputy Auditor General. Planned spending for the current financial year is $93.8 million, an amount that has not risen in proportion with total government spending. Shocker, I know, right? It's almost like the Trudeau government doesn't actually know how to govern. Back to the article. An $8 million funding increase in the 2018 federal budget was not enough, Hayes says, and because of the mandatory workload, now larger because of the new entities created by the current government, their only discretion was to reduce the number of performance audits. In the past, on average, the office would have conducted 25 or 26 a year, but they would now have had to go down to about 14, Hayes said. He added that the Commissioner of the Environment is facing a similar crunch because new government legislation has upped his oversight responsibilities. I guess it's anyway, to 96 entries from 26 without a funding increase. The 5 performance audits canceled this year were about combating cybercrime, protecting Canada's North, heritage service to Canadians, training for service delivery, and the government's travel system, said Richards. They were deemed the least important areas of a list of planned audits, but, quote, any audits we identify is of importance, he said. Quote, facing what we're facing, we had no choice but to reduce the level of effort and reduce the number of audits. We had no choice. We can't do it. This is the premier oversight committee of Parliament, and the one thing, in my opinion, that we cannot stand, and I don't care who the government is cutting the Auditor General. That's what autocrats do when they want to deny accountability, Christopherson said, imploring Liberal members of the committee to bring the issue back to their own government. Quote, I would hope that we would begin turning the wheels necessary to undo this, because just to be political for a moment, this government already has a bit of deficiency on the democratic front. Here's yet one more knock against the professed belief and adherence to democracy and democratic values. I'm beside myself. This is not acceptable. Martin Potvin, a spokesman for the Treasury Board's Secretariat, said the government is committed to supporting the work of the Auditor General. As they pile on and pile on and pile on. I can't help but think this is a strategy. I've seen it happen in other countries too. Just overwhelm the system, break it into a million pieces, and say, see, it didn't work after all, when you've ignored it, underfunded it, and ladened it with extra responsibilities, right? See, we told you it was a patriarchy and it was going to collapse. They did it on purpose, and they're doing this on purpose. And this one, I went back through my notes, and I found my notes about Phoenix Pay, and it's kind of funny, really. And I'm going to show it to you, actually. Hold on. So here's my notes. I put notes together, and this is what I do. And Phoenix Pay was $5.6 million initial investment, but to design and roll the program out from 2011 to 2016 when it rolled out and it wasn't ready, it cost $310 million. And then this isn't even getting into 2017 and 2018 yet. Then they put $540 million to fix the errors, and then another $500 million annually to keep the system running. And I've done videos, right? These are all my videos. And in August of 2016, they were talking about it taking more than a year to get through the backlog of non-paid people. And then fast forward to 2017 and 2018, when they keep throwing money at this system and they keep getting further behind and they keep putting different people in charge of it. And now they've called in IBM. This is the most recent news, May 15th, yesterday, and pay them $173 million more. Please fix this, please. We're going to see a graph of this as well. I've got a graph in here. Yeah, look, see? Initial value, 5.8. 2011, 5.6. Not okay, reasonable, right? Okay, here's $40 million. Here's $80 million. Here's $100 million. Here's $136 million. And now we're at $393 million. Wow. Ineptitude on display. This is both LibCon governments. Right? Can you get anything right? You want to buy some fighter jets? How about pay your employees? No, because you can't figure out how to pay them. How long would a business last if they couldn't pay their employees like this? And then started throwing out hundreds of millions of dollars to some computer company to please fix it. And yeah, we've got unlimited money and we don't know why your computer system doesn't work. Please come and fix it. And yeah, we'll pay you whatever you want. Absolutely worthless. CBC reporting, quote, Phoenix cost soars by another $137 million paid to IBM. Listen, if I bought a computer for a certain amount of money, or if I bought a service for a certain amount of money and the service didn't work and never worked, I would stop throwing money at the people who were lying to me about the service they were providing. Ridiculous. The federal government, back to the article, continues to pay millions of dollars more than expected to IBM to run a troubled Phoenix Pay system despite its many problems. Since the start of 2019, the company has received at least another $137 million, according to the federal government's online procurement site, Buy and Sell, under a new agreement that came into effect in March. I'm going to pause here. I wonder if you could take $137 million, shut down the Phoenix system entirely, hire a bunch of accountants, and cap it at $137 million. We are going to use $137 million to hire accountants to set up individual payment systems across the government agencies that are now covered by Phoenix Pay. And hopefully that would work, because I can't imagine it costing $137 million in accountant fees to set that up. And I would imagine that businesses need to figure out how to pay their employees. Businesses of 10 people, businesses of 100 people, businesses of 1,000 people. Amazon can pay its employees. Why can't the federal government? What is wrong with these people? Amazon doesn't spend $137 million a year to pay its employees or to fix a bad payment system. What is wrong with our government? This is absolutely ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I can't believe this. I have a friend who works under Phoenix Pay, and it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Imagine not being paid for a year, and then and the government saying, "Don't worry about it. We're going to spend $137 million and give it to IBM, and next year it won't be fixed either, because we can't figure it out." So frustrated. Back to the article. The deal marks the 46th amendment to the initial contract signed in 2011 with a multinational company which was responsible for the payroll system's implementation. The total value of the contract has since increased from $5.7 million to more than $393 million. Phoenix has been mired in controversy since its introduction in 2016, causing a myriad of problems, including under, over, and non-payments for hundreds of thousands of public employees. Under the new fixed cost contract extension, approximately 170 IBM employees will be integrated into the federal public service for up to 3 years to stabilize the pay system. I wonder if they'll be paid by Phoenix. Wow. Oh, they will handle day-to-day operations of the Phoenix system, according to Pierre-Alain Beaujeu. Sorry if I've got that wrong. Spokesperson for Public Service and Procurement Canada, PSPC. In particular, the IBM employees will be responsible for technical support, updating and improving Phoenix, and will also be assigned to payroll processing. PSPC relies on the expertise of IBM resources, which are responsible for delivering specific results at a fixed cost, Beaujeu wrote in an email in French to Radio Canada. He said having IBM personnel take on those roles frees up others to make strategic improvements. Yes, it's not clear how much of the $137 million is earmarked for payroll. In a statement to Radio Canada, IBM said, quote, "It does not publicly discuss staffing specifics." Right. So this is an abject, complete, and utter failure. Sorry, there's more. I'm going to come back here. The federal government says replacing Phoenix remains a priority, though the amount of money poured into fixing it remains significantly higher than invested to find an alternative. In the 2018 budget, Ottawa allocated $16 million over 2 years to begin the process of replacing the troubled system. That funding is set to be spent over a 6-year period and is for hiring additional staff. The last federal budget, however, did not include any additional money for replacing the current system. So they're going to spend $16 million to figure out another system to put in place to have another complete and utter failure. Over 6 years? 6 years to figure out a payment system? Like, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Here's Justin Trudeau saying that he will personally fix Phoenix Pay in 2016. This was July 21st, 2016. Take it away, JT.
And there are a troubling number of families who are not getting their pay at all. We are working right away on helping the most vulnerable while we make sure that the system functions for everyone. And it's something that I have engaged in personally and tasked the clerk of the Privy Council to oversee. We are making sure that this situation gets fixed for the families who are needing our help.
Right. Do you believe anything he said? No, me either, because it was all lies. Who are these two? Who are these guys right here? Like, are these MPs or cabinet ministers? Security? CSIS guys? Like, who are they? These people who pop up behind Justin Trudeau and nod and smile. Very strange. Very strange. But he's personally on it. He's definitely going to fix it. Here's CBC reporting in 2019 in March. Liberals throwing good money after bad on Phoenix, Union says. Yeah, shocker. This is July 21st, 2016. Trudeau promises to fix faulty new payment system that's left civil servants and MPs unpaid. So this is the news article, I suppose, from July 21st is the same day. Yeah, so that's the news article from this presser. But still, the point is money after money after money, and no closer to a fix. In fact, much, much further away from a fix. In fact, Phoenix keeps throwing more errors. I don't understand why we're spending more money on it. I don't understand why we're bringing in IBM employees who won't be paid by Phoenix. And if we don't have the expertise to run the system, why did we agree to the system in the first place? Why did we send $500 million last year to IBM to help the system be fixed? It's fallen out of the news. Nobody cares about it. And it is incredibly poor when a government can't even pay its civil servants. And that goes for the Harper's government and the Trudeau government. I mean, The system started under the Harper government. And to be fair, they did not implement it. It was implemented in 2016 after Justin Trudeau took over. But failure after failure after failure. Thanks for watching, everybody. Check out thepeoplespartyofcanada.ca. Solving problems requires difficult conversations and identifying the problem and saying maybe all of this money is sunk cost and lost, and maybe we should start over. Maybe we should get back to basics. Maybe we should figure out how to pay our employees most efficiently and stop trying to limp this ridiculous system along because it's not working. All it's doing is costing us money. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.